Mira Ziamat for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. Sarawak Premier ABANG JOHARI arrives in POZNAN to continue mission on energy transition. Talent development within Sarawak semiconductor sector will see significant advancements through strategic partnerships. And Sarawak now on the right track to become a semiconductor industry hub with full backing by the UK. This just in, the renaming of the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly, or DUN, will be announced in a media briefing after the pre-council meeting this May. According to Sarawak State Legislative Assembly Speaker Tan Sri Dato' Amar Muhammad Asfia Awang Nasar, the announcement will be made in an official capacity.
When the press conference comes, you can raise that.
Okay, might be after Labor Day on the 1st of May. 1st of May, after Labor Day. After Labor Day.
He said this when approached by the media at the Petronas Aidilfitri open house earlier tonight. Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister in the Sarawak's Premier Department, Law MA63 and State Federal Relations, Dato' Sharifah Hasidah Said Aman Ghazali said the change of name from Sarawak State Legislative Assembly to Sarawak Legislative Assembly is appropriate, as Sarawak has been recognised as a territory. She explained that the change is in line with the Malaysian Agreement 1963, MA63, and the recognition of Sarawak as a territory prior to this.
Sarawak Premier Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri ABANG JOHARI Tun Openg, along with a delegation from the Sarawak government, arrived in POZNAN to continue their mission of sharing knowledge on energy transition. Accompanied by Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan and Sarawak Government Secretary Dato' Amar Muhammad Abu Bakar Marzuki, they are scheduled to attend the Central European Hydrogen Technology Forum to highlight Sarawak's role in renewable energy security, decarbonization and environmental sustainability.
The arrival of the Sarawak delegation was welcomed by Deputy President of the Wielkopolska region, Marek Gola, and Director of the Department of Economics of Poland, Pieta Joanna. Also present were the head of Wielkopolska 2050 Division, Magdalena Kaseja Astriop, and the Malaysian Ambassador to Poland, Dato' Citra Devi Ramya. The Central European Hydrogen Technology Forum, H2Poland, is Poland's first trade show entirely focused on hydrogen technology and decarbonization. It also serves as a platform for exchanging knowledge in environmentally friendly modern technology. Previously, he led the Sarawak government delegation's visit to Leeds and London, UK, to review technologies at the Drax power station and witness the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between Sarawak Microelectronics SMD Semiconductor and UK-based company CSA Catapult.
Talent development within the semiconductor sector will see significant advancements through strategic partnerships with industry players from the United Kingdom. Emphasizing the importance of talent development in the semiconductor industry, Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan underscored the critical role that talent plays. This is in line with Sarawak's dedication to generating more chip designers to fulfill industry needs.
Ya, kita mau tingkatkan our collaboration dengan syarikat-syarikat di UK ini, lebih-lebih lagi dalam aspek talent development. Talent development ini penting, termasuklah untuk semiconductor ini. Dan di Sarawak, di Samalaju, is the home for multinational companies investing in Samalaju. Kita memerlukan talent, lebih-lebih lagi dalam design, semiconductor design itu dan saya percaya, I have a very confidence that we can do that, you know. Macam syarikat kita pun sudah diguna oleh syarikat-syarikat lain to provide some design.
Commenting further, Tengah, who is also Sarawak's Minister of International Trade, Industry and Investment, said that continuous collaboration with UK companies will further strengthen Sarawak's efforts in developing local talent. Meanwhile, on the visit to the UK, ABANG Tengah described it as productive, with the state government gaining valuable insights, especially in the renewable energy sector.
Sarawak is now on the right track to become a semiconductor industry hub and design center, as it has gained the full support from European countries, especially the United Kingdom. The UK's Minister of Digital Technology and Economy, Sakib Bhatti, acknowledges several collaborative efforts with Sarawak that not only empowers both sides of the semiconductor sector, but also further strengthens bilateral relations between the two countries.
The MOU that has been announced today is an excellent demonstration of how we are building on those firm foundations with the same spirit of ambition, pragmatism and partnership that we have seen succeed so far. Because the scale of the opportunity here is absolutely staggering. And just as I see the UK as the perfect partner in Sarawak's ambition to become a premier hub for chip design, I see Sarawak as a natural partner of choice for the UK as we seek to double down on our strengths. The agreement that we've signed will deepen collaboration between our two countries and the state of Sarawak.
Previously, an MOU was signed between Sarawak Microelectronics Design (SMD) and UK company CSA Catapult on Tuesday. The collaboration aims to drive innovation that will reshape capabilities and applications of compound semiconductors made from two or more elements, compared to silicon made from a single element.
Yesterday, two Malaysian Navy helicopters collided mid-air during a rehearsal for a military parade, tragically claiming the lives of all 10 crew members on board. Among the fallen was Able Seaman 1 JJM Joanna Felicia Rona, a Sarawakian from Syria. Her remains are scheduled to arrive at the Royal Malaysian Navy base in Kuching at around 11:33 tonight. She will be laid to rest in a funeral ceremony at her husband's village in Tabakang, Syria. We head to Lorenzo Isaac, who is on location for the details. Go ahead, Lorenzo.
Thank you, Razia Ahmad from the studio. Currently, I'm at the Royal Malaysian Navy base here in Kuching, where we are waiting for the deceased to arrive here, and it is expected to arrive at 11:30 p.m. It's a mournful day as we mourn the loss of Able Seaman 1 GGM Joanna Felicia Rohna, whose rank is a Laskar Kanan leading grade attached to the TLDM Physical Training Instructor Unit at the Naval Air Base in Lumut, Perak, was among the 10 TLDM personnel killed in the helicopter tragedy involving two helicopters in Perak yesterday. She was with 6 other crew members on board the HOM M503 helicopter that crashed during the incident. All of them were killed. The other helicopter, a Fennec M5026 carrying 3 other personnel, also crashed, killing everyone in it. The 2 TLDM helicopters collided mid-air and crashed over the naval base in Lumut, Perak, while rehearsing the flypast in conjunction with TLDM's 90th anniversary scheduled early next month. After a post-mortem at the Raja Permaisuri Bainun Hospital Forensic Department at 2:20 p.m. today, Joanna's body was brought to a nearby church for prayers before being brought to the Royal Malaysian Air Force hangar in Ipoh to be flown to Kuching in a Lockheed C-130 Hercules aircraft. Her final resting place will be in Kampong Angkaroh, Tabakang, with the funeral scheduled for tomorrow at 9 a.m. The plan was for Joanna's remains to arrive at Kuching Royal Malaysian Air Force Base by 8:15 p.m. Unfortunately, due to the bad weather today, things delayed. Joanna left behind her husband and 2 children, and she was among the 10 casualties in the helicopter incident during the Royal Malaysian Navy 90th anniversary celebration parade rehearsal, which has now been cancelled. So far, that's all the updates that I have for today. we return to the studio. I'm Lorenzo Isaac and videographer Zaim Zarfan for TVS Kuching.
That was Lorenzo Isaac reporting from the Royal Malaysian Navy base in Kuching just now. In other news, the primary focus of the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS coalition at present is not towards the state or federal elections, which remain far off, but rather towards efforts to safeguard the welfare and well-being of the people. Deputy Minister in the Premier's Department, Corporate Affairs, Information and UKAS, Dato' Abdullah Saidul, said the people are growing increasingly sophisticated in assessing which party leadership is genuinely honest and earnest in working to assist and uplift the people.
Prinsip dan budaya politik kami orang dalam GPS berlainan. Kepimpinan kami dalam GPS sering diingatkan oleh pengurusi GPS Premier Abang Jo supaya mendahulukan khidmat masyarakat dan beri tumpuan kepada hasil kerja di kawasan masing-masing. Ibu gago ilak main politik. Pilihan raya masih jauh. Sepatutnya tumpuan utama ialah gerak kerja menjaga kebajikan masyarakat dan mengukuh ekonomi negeri atau negara. Walaupun mana-mana parti politik bersedia awal menghadap pilihan raya dengan kaedah-kaedah propaganda politik yang hebat dan canggih, tapi saya yakin majoriti rakyat sudah semakin bijak untuk menilai kepimpinan parti mana yang benar-benar ikhlas dan bersungguh bekerja untuk rakyat dan masa depan.
He answered a question by reporters on the announcement by the People's Justice Party, PKR, that they intend to launch early preparations for the general elections. Abdullah stressed that GPS has a different political philosophy. According to him, Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, who is also the chairman of GPS, often reminds GPS representatives to always prioritize work and service to the community and not to be caught up in politics. Previously, PKR Deputy President Rafizi Ramli, in a statement, said the party would begin preparation 2 years earlier for the 16th general elections, with the mission to ensure Dato' Seri Anwar Ibrahim continues to be the Prime Minister. According to Rafizi, PKR introduced the Justice Wins series for GE16, Kemas 16 Framework and Party Organisation Empowerment, POP 25, as the direction for grassroots preparation, and PKR leadership is drafting preparations and rallying strength to face GE16.
The Sarawak State Government's objective is not only to ensure the welfare of the community, but also to uplift the socio-economic standing of its people, particularly in rural regions. Deputy Minister in the Premier's Department, Corporate Affairs, Information and UKAS, Dato' Abdullah Saidul, emphasized that this genuine intention drives the government's significant allocation of funds to supply essential infrastructure facilities required by the residents throughout the state.
Sebenarnya pembelanjaan yang besar diperlukan untuk memenuhi keperluan pembangunan infrastruktur kemudahan awam di seluruh Sarawak. Sebab ialah di bawah kepimpinan Premier Abang Jo, kami orang dalam GPS bersungguh mencebur dalam berbagai inisiatif ekonomi baru untuk menambah pendapatan Sarawak. Projek-projek kemudahan awam yang dibina bukan semata-mata untuk keselesaan masyarakat, tapi juga secara tidak langsung sebagai kemudahan untuk masyarakat membina sosioekonomi atau pendapatan keluarga yang lebih baik, terutama masyarakat di luar bandar.
Abdullah, who is also SEMOP assemblyman, said aside from the shipbuilding industry, Kampung Paloh also has the potential to become a food supply area or agro park, cattle farming and various commercial crops such as fruit. As such, he is optimistic that the area will be developed thanks to the determination of Tanjung Manis MP Yusof Abdul Wahab and the Kuala Rajang Assemblyman Datuk Len Talif Saleh, who requested allocation to build roads and 2 bridges from Paloh to Tanjung Manis, costing an estimated 750 million ringgit.
A total of 12,613 athletes and officials from across the country will set up shop in Sarawak for the 21st Malaysia Games Sukma in 2024, starting in August. Deputy Minister of Community Welfare Development, Sarawak Datuk Muhammad Razi Sitam, said the number includes athletes and officials for Para Sukma, amounting to 2,000 people.
Kunjungan kita kali ini di Pantai Timur adalah untuk membawa jemputan daripada Kerajaan Sarawak kepada negeri-negeri di seluruh Malaysia. Kali ini merupakan yang terbesar kerana ia menampilkan acara yang lebih banyak daripada sebelum ini. Dan secara keseluruhannya kita dapat menjangkakan lebih 12,000 orang atlet dan pegawai seluruh Malaysia termasuk Brunei.
This edition of Sukma is the biggest ever in history, involving a total of 37 sports with 484 events to be contested. The Malaysia Games Sukma Sarawak 2024 will take place from August 17th to 24th, while Para Sukma is slated for September 20th to 28th. Meanwhile, Muhammad Razi, who also serves as the head of Sukma Sarawak contingent, announced that a total of 863 athletes and officials from the Pahang contingent will participate in the Malaysia Games Sukma and Sukma Sarawak 2024, taking place in August and September. He said the contingent from the state has registered to participate in 36 sports events, excluding Kabaddi. On Wednesday, he paid a courtesy call to the Exco of Communication and Multimedia, Youth, Sports and State Government Bodies, Fazli Muhammad Kamal, at the office of the State Secretariat of Pahang, Wisma Sri Pahang in Kuantan. Meanwhile, Para Sukma will be participated by representatives from Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur and Labuan.
Coming up right after the break, 5 million Malaysians at risk of having diabetes. And in world news, the Philippines hit by extreme heat. It's so hot, you can't breathe. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The Ministry of Energy Transition and Water Transformation, or PETRA, through the National Water Service Commission SPAN, will formulate and provide a mechanism for the implementation of water service transformation in the next decade. Deputy Prime Minister, who is also PETRA Minister, Datuk Sri Fadila Yusof, said PETRA is also planning to organize engagement sessions with stakeholders and to work together with the Malaysian Water Association to gather ideas and feedback.
Some of the notable considerations are, for example, digitalization and AI, adoption of the water industry to enhance sustainability and improve operation efficiency. Likewise, while water resource management and cost reduction practices remains a key benefit, operation will also need to look into revenue management and revenue enhancement to ensure sustainability of the water industry.
Fadilah said efforts to reform the water service sector is a strategic priority and requires the cooperation of all stakeholders in Malaysia.
It is estimated that around 5 million people in the country are at risk of having pre-diabetes and diabetes. Deputy Health Minister Dato' Lukanisman Awang-Sauni said that the illness alone also makes up around 50% of the medical cost of treatment through the Ministry of Health's annual allocation.
Saya telah menyebut tadi hampir 5 juta rakyat Malaysia sebenarnya terdedah dengan pre-diabetes dan juga diabetes ketika ini. Dan juga penyakit diabetes ini adalah merangkumi hampir 50% kos rawatan, iaitu bernilai hampir 4 bilion jumlah rawatan yang kita gunakan di dalam peruntukan tahunan KAM.
He said this when met by the media after officiating the Stand Against Pre-Diabetes, Don't Sugarcoat It program with the theme of Saring, Sahkan, Runding dan Ubah at Putrajaya earlier today. Commenting further, Lukanisman said the illness essentially does not show any symptoms. Many individuals are not aware of the condition unless they undergo medical checkup. He explained that the campaign aims to educate and encourage the public to get medical checkup and cooperate with medical specialists to ensure that they have a low risk of pre-diabetes.
Back on TVS Nightline and on to world news. Extreme heat scorched the Philippines on Wednesday, forcing schools in some areas to suspend in-person classes and prompting warnings for people to limit the amount of time spent outdoors. The months of March, April and May are typically the hottest and driest in the archipelago nation, but conditions this year have been exacerbated by the El Niño weather phenomenon.
It's so hot you can't breathe, said 60-year-old Erlin Tumaron, who works at a seaside resort in Cavite province, south of Manila, where the heat index reached 47 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. The state weather forecaster said the heat index was expected to reach the danger level of 42 degrees Celsius or higher in at least 30 cities and municipalities on Wednesday. There was a 50% chance of the heat intensifying in the coming days. Around half the country's province are officially in drought. The heat index in the capital Manila reached 45 degrees Celsius on Tuesday and was expected to hit 44 degrees Celsius on Wednesday. Global temperatures hit records high last year, and the United Nations Weather and Climate Agency said on Tuesday that Asia was warming at a particularly rapid pace. The Philippines ranks among the countries most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change.
Indonesia's Election Commission earlier today formally declared Prabowo Subianto as the next president of the world's third largest democracy after the country's constitutional court shot down challenges to his first-round majority victory. The 72-year-old Indonesian Defense Minister Prabowo is due to take the reins in October from outgoing leader Joko Widodo after a transition period following his third attempt at the top office.
It comes after his election rivals Anies Baswedan and Ganjar Pranowo called for a rerun of the February 14th vote, in which Prabowo won nearly 60% of the ballots, alleging state interference and rule changes that supported his ticket. KPU Chair Hashim Ashari said the Election Commission, KPU, determines the presidential and vice presidential candidates number 2, Prabowo Subianto and Gibran Rakabuming Raka, as the elected presidential and vice presidential candidates. Prabowo has courted controversies for past allegations of human rights abuses, accused by rights groups of a role in disappearing democracy activists at the end of dictator Suharto's rule in the late 1990s. But the fiery populist secured an easy election win on the back of his pledge to continue Jokowi's popular agenda of a strong economic development and his choice of the president's eldest son Gibran as his vice president.
Google has fired at least 20 more employees who protested against the provision of the company's technology to Israel, bringing the total number of employees fired so far to 50. The tech giant is developing the Nimbus project with a contract signed in 2021 for $1.2 billion with Google and Amazon to provide cloud computing and artificial intelligence services to Israel.
Last week, Google employees held a protest at the Google office in New York and Sunnyvale, California, which prompted the company to call the police to make arrests. The group known as No Tech for Appetite said the company fired 30 employees last week, which is more than the 28 employees that they fired earlier. According to Jen Chung, the spokesperson for No Tech for Appetite, Google attempted to reject different perspectives, silence their employees, and use authoritative power over them. The Mountain View company in California before this indicated that more employees could be fired, with the Chief Executive Officer Sundar Pichai saying in a blog post that they will monitor employees when the company intensifies its effort to improve AI technology.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms at TV Sarawak. And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Razia Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.